there you have it. Serbia makes its first Euros since 2000, when I was a little kid. 24 years in the making, back at the Euros, thanks to um, a disastrous match against Bulgaria, 2-2 draw, with the two goals coming from the two center backs, Veljkovic and Babic. Uh, I don't really know where to start. Montenegro lost 3-1 in the other match to Hungary, which Montenegro was up 1-0 in that match. They ended up losing 3-1, like I said. Uh, Serbia, starting from the lineup, Babic, I think, was the only real surprise that we had today in the lineup. We haven't seen too much of him in the national team side, especially starting. Even just getting minutes overall, we just haven't seen too much of him. But he decided to start Babic over Pavlovic, which was an interesting decision, I think. I guess you might say it paid dividends. I think Babic was the best center back out of the three, which isn't necessarily a great thing because our center backs aren't really that great. And I think Juricic might have been another surprise as well. Although when you consider that Sergej Milinkovic-Savic was out, I think um, I think that Juricic was kind of the second option that we had going forward, especially with what you saw from Juricic against Belgium, where he hit the woodwork, and he also had another great chance, which he should have capitalized on. The Serbia goal came off a corner kick. There's a little scramble in the 18-yard box. Ball comes to Babic and he heads it home. Or sorry, it comes to Veljkovic. He heads it home, which I don't think it's an own goal. I think it's Veljkovic's goal because the ball was going on goal. Anyway, so I think the goal does go to Veljkovic. The first half was very good. I thought Serbia attacked very well. I thought Juricic was excellent in the build-up. Um, Mitrovic, the match as a whole, wasn't involved in the play much, but I thought Živkovic on the right side did a great job of crossing the ball in and getting by his man. I thought Tadic was very lively, which we haven't seen from him too much in terms of the national team side. He's been kind of held under control for most of this qualifying. I honestly can't think of a match where Tadic really stood out and was one of our best players. A match just doesn't come to mind right now, but I thought that he played well in the first half, and then it felt like everything changed in the second half. Um, from what we were trying to do, from the pressure that Bulgaria kind of put us under, and they threw on Rusev, who made a huge difference for them, scoring the 1-1 goal where he was able to get by Babic, who isn't the fastest of players. Again, there's a little scramble in the 18-yard box where Kostic kind of heads it out and he comes back to Rusev and he slots it into the back of the net. Now, I wonder, it looked like Vanya Milinkovic-Savic was going out to collect the ball. I wonder if he called for Kostic that he was going to collect the ball. I don't think that he did because I think Kostic would have left it, and it would have been a very easy decision for Kostic to make. And I think it would have taken a lot of pressure off Kostic versus having to head out the ball in the last second, and then Rusev getting it on I believe it was his left foot and slotting it beyond Vanya Milinkovic-Savic, who couldn't even get to the ball. As tall as he is, he was unable to get to it. The second goal, 10 minutes later, 69th minute, Despotov, who's Bulgaria's captain, Bulgaria's best player. We're very lucky that he actually got subbed off late. I just don't think that he could have gone the full 90. Živkovic passes the ball to Lukic, and I'm still trying to think what happened. This is after a Serbian corner kick, so mind you, this is Serbia attacking. And after the corner kick, the ball comes back all the way to the halfway line to Živkovic, who then decides to pass it left to Lukic, and it looks like he took his eye off the ball, and the Spotov just stole the ball, running down to face Vanya Milinkovic-Savic one-on-one. Živkovic couldn't catch up. Živkovic is a fairly fast player, but he couldn't catch up to Despotov, who then slots it. I think Vanya could have maybe done a little bit better on the goal as well. Um, Again, defensive breakdown, very similar to the goal that we conceded against Switzerland in Russia, where off our corner kick, we're caught on the counter attack and the opposition scores a goal. And it looked very bleak at that point. And then the 80 something minute, Babic gets the goal off a corner kick. Great taken corner kick from Tadic. Poor job of man marking for Bulgaria. I got to say their goalkeeper was outstanding today. I think he made 3 or 4 really big stops that kept Bulgaria in this match. And yeah, Babic was able to secure the point and to get us to Euros. Before I go on any further, if you guys like what you see, maybe remember to subscribe to the page. It means a lot to me. Just very lucky to get that 1 point and to get us through to the Euros. Not the greatest qualifying phase that we've had in the last 6, 7 years. I actually thought it was pretty bad. Like when you take a look back at this qualifying campaign, I don't know if I could point out one match where I said we played really well in that game. I really don't. I can't pick one. Even against Lithuania, even against Bulgaria, where we were barely able to take a point. Now, I'll say this about Bulgaria. They've conceded a lot of goals in the last 2 or 3 minutes of matches, and they've lost a lot of points. They could have been fighting for a Euro spot the way that they struggled, and that's legitimately what happened against Hungary the last match before they played Serbia. I mean, they conceded a goal in the 97th minute, an own goal, right? So, you wonder if some of these games go a different way. Bulgaria's, fighting with Montenegro, Serbia, and Hungary to go on to the Euros. Um, I think we're just very fortunate to be here. Honestly, the back line is just leaking goals. This three at the back system doesn't work. I don't pin this on Pixie. I think this is the best that we have. I think we have to play three at the back since we don't really have a left back or a right back. Terzic has been out. I think he's someone who can step in and fill in at the left back position if need be. But who do you have at right back, right? That's a question as well. I think Milenkovic again was awful today. Probably the worst player on the pitch. And I'm looking at the bench and I'm thinking, what does Erakovic have to do to get some minutes here? And Markovic, again, is starting to play a little bit for Bochum now. Hopefully he gets a call up as well. I think we're going to have some friendlies ahead of the Euros. Hopefully he gets some time on the pitch because I honestly don't think that he's any worse than Milenkovic. Velkovic sure scored the goal, but I didn't think he was that great today either. Babic, I think, was a standout, but because the other two guys were so bad, that someone has to be the best man in that back line. And everything just changed in that second half. Again, Lukic, a poor second half. I thought Juricic overall the match played really well. Um, Mitrovic again, I don't think he definitely didn't play his best game for Serbia today, and definitely didn't play his worst. But I mean, we're dependent on him way too much. Like if Mitrovic doesn't score 2 or 3 goals for us, we end up losing matches or we draw like this. You can't have that when you have someone else like Vlahovic waiting in the wings to play, right? You can't have that. Samardžić again doesn't play today. I thought he was good in that match against Belgium in the first half, particularly, and then the second half he really didn't get the ball too much. It's time for some of these Ivan Ilic and Samardžić to kind of step into that role and to start getting more minutes. But unfortunately, we're not seeing that, right? So this roster for the Euros is going to be very interesting. And I think you could probably, if it's a 23-man roster, you already know 16 or 17 of the guys that are going to be going to that Euro, right? I think there's a few question marks, maybe in the middle of the pitch, and like what happens up top when you take away Vlahovic and Mitrovic, who's that third striker that we bring in. The starting goalkeeper, I think, I'm not gonna say that Rajkovic is better than Vanja Milinkovic-Savic, but I think they're somewhere close. I think it's a lot closer than what people think. And I think Rajkovic proved that in the match against Belgium in the friendly where he had 2 or 3 really good stops, really big stops for Serbia. So I think and Mallorca is doing fairly well in if I remember correctly in the Liga. So that's a toss up right there in goal. All it takes is for one of the goalkeepers to go out of form and to not be the number 1 choice anymore. So I think that's another thing that we track ahead of the Euros, and we'll see if Vanya is still at Torino, and we'll see if Rajkovic is still in Mallorca. But I think that's a situation or a controversy, if you want to call it that we can just track in the next 6 or 7 months. And yeah, I mean, I'm happy we're going, but with play like this, I don't know how much we have to look forward to when we get there. Let me know in the comments what you guys thought of the match. Let me know what you thought about this qualifying campaign, who you thought the standout player was today. For me, it was probably maybe Juricic. I would have Juricic as the player of the match if I had to pick someone. Um, and yeah, let me know what you guys think, what you guys expect from us at Euros. So feel free to comment below.